Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, I was just watching a video by Meyer Burnett, one of his observations, about Matt Jarbo. And I watched about 24 minutes and I just had to comment. I had to say something. It was really annoying. Okay, so I don't know a lot about Matt Jarbo. He was one of the people I started watching back in the day, along with like Midnight's Edge and Nerdrotic and Clownfish Media and Mecha Random and just a whole bunch of them. Like that whole sort of Last Jedi, Star Trek Discovery sort of crowd. And I started doing videos at that time as well. And I'd heard some rumours about him. What I'd heard was that he basically flagged or reported another YouTuber's video that was an enemy or a competition or something, and it was seen as an attempt at sabotaging his channel or something. He may have just thought it deserved to be flagged. I don't know, but that's what I'd heard, and that people had found out that he did that somehow. I don't know how they would have found that out. And that he sort of was a pariah in the YouTube community, and he did something that got him kind of cancelled. He was commenting on it the other day. I was watching a video of his. I haven't watched that many recently, but he did comment on that, and I'm like, what did you do? Could you just say what you did? Because not everyone knows the story. So I'm not exactly sure what the deal is, but I mentioned him in a video a little while ago, and a couple of people in my comments come on and said, well, I was with you until you mentioned Matt Jarbo. And they were attacking me for saying, I think, something complimentary about Matt Jarbo. Because what he's done in some of the videos I've watched is he's basically called out all the right-wing YouTubers for their nerd culture wars sort of grifts and all that stuff. And all the bigots, all the people who, you know, just play on hate and monetize hate and that, you know, who just no matter what, they'll attack and trash anything remotely diverse or left-wing or anything, just purely for the sake of it, for the hate of it, for the base, because they know they have people who just want to hear that, they're feeding them. And I'm like fully there for that, because I agree with him, that's what a lot of these people are doing, and he's sort of on the other side of that. Like I feel like I'm on the other side of that as well, where I'm not a bigot, I am diverse, I'm gay, and I'm not offended by the things that offend them. So the things that they call, you know, poorly produced or badly written, because those are just dog whistles to mean basically diverse, and we have to hate it because that's our agenda and our political agenda and everything. He seems to sort of be on, I feel like we're on the same page sometimes. So I've watched a few videos of his here and there, and I've enjoyed them. Same as I've watched some of Rob's videos recently. Now, I used to be a big fan of Rob a while ago. I loved his long videos. I used to listen to them. But then there was an incident during the George Floyd riots where someone was killed, and he went on, I think, Twitter, or maybe it was one of his YouTube videos. I can't remember, but I saw it at the time. And he basically said, just shoot them all, kill them all, just indiscriminately, just all the protesters. You know, I'm not going to say what he said exactly, because I'm not going to have those words come out my mouth. But I called him a racist then. I did a video about it. I sent a couple of comments and tweets and that. He did respond at some point to me, and I just ignored it because, you know, he's way bigger than me, and he'd just, you know, just be punching down. I'd be trying to punch up. It's not a position to put yourself in, because I have a very small channel and I can't compete with that sort of, with those people. So yeah, I just I saw him talking about how, and I saw this myself, I saw a while ago, well, I saw months ago, and I had a bit of a vision of this happening because I'm a bit psychic. I saw this picture months ago of Rob standing with a bunch of people who we all know, in my humble opinion, to be a bunch of bigots and racists and extreme right-wing people. And I'm like, God, Rob, you don't pose with these people, you know, because you get associated with them, and people are going to think that you know, believe what they believe, and you agree with what, you know, they say and how they, you know, deliver all their videos and everything. And I just thought, God, why would he do that? And I saw Matt Jarbo dealing with it, and I'm like, doing video on it, like, okay. But that didn't happen. That just happened this week, actually. I'm like, okay. I thought that happened months ago, because the photo popped up again the other day, and I saw it, and I thought, ugh, I really want to do a video about that, because it's just such a stupid thing to do, to do videos with these people and pose with these people and go on live streams with these people that you know their positions, you know people's reaction to them. People hate them because they appear to be, you know, right-wing, racist, homophobic, misogynistic bigots who totally monetize hate and focus on all that. But yet he does, and then it's like, well, I just like them because we like the same things. We are both into Star Trek, we're both into toys, you know, blah, 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 like his heel versus babyface stuff. He's like, it's all about the toys. I'm like, I'm sure there were many people who had personal things in common with Hitler, but they wouldn't stand next to him and pose photos for him and be like, wow, we just happen to both like Legos. It just doesn't work like that. So Matt Jarbo calls him out on this video because apparently Rob said he was like a circular progressive or something. He used some sort of term like that. And Matt Jarbo called him out and said, really? You're a racist because you're hanging out with these people, basically. You can't be friends with these people and not condone or believe or understand or agree with what they're saying, basically what he seemed to be saying. And I kind of was there for that, because I'm like, yeah, you kind of can't have it both ways. You kind of have to pick a side. You can't sort of stand with the bigots and be like, oh, but I'm not one of them. See, I'm over here. I'm all nice and, you know, no, it doesn't work that way. And he should know better. So he calls me out, and then Rob says, well, okay, if I'm such a bigot and racist, come on my show and explain to me how I'm a bigot and racist, and I'll give you a platform. And of course, he's not an idiot, so he says, no, you come on my show. Because they both know either one of them going on either show, the other one has the power to make them look bad, re-edit, clip, whatever, and make them look bad. So they're both smart enough not to go on each other's show. The difference is, Rob's calling him out and saying, literally, the title of his video is, a cowardly, sniveling internet personality accuses me of racism, then fails to show up. So he's like, come on my show. I'll give you an open platform. You can talk. I won't interrupt. You cowardly, you know, gutless, useless thing that should never be on the internet. I'm like, gee, Rob, I wonder why he's not coming on your show. Are you going to talk to him like this? Are you going to address him like this? He even refers to his kids and saying, why don't you show your kids this video one day, and then they can ask you why you're such a gutless piece of work or something. I'm like, gee, Rob, I wonder why no one would want to come on your show and talk to you about an issue that they have. And he was saying, which is really insulting, he was saying, look, anyone who wants to come on my show, I will give them a free blah, 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 and they can, I'm not going to interrupt them, they can attack me and whatever, and we'll talk about the issue, because I'm all about talking and people having their stories and blah, 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 and I want to hear your story and you can explain it, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, bullshit. Maybe someone on your level, yeah, but someone like me or someone smaller person, no way, because there's no benefit for you, because you're not going to gain any subscribers, you're not going to gain any attention, you're not going to get anything from someone beneath you, you know, not punching down, but I don't know what you'd call it. I don't know, whatever. But and I'm just like offended on several levels. One, that you lay down with dogs, you get fleas, and then you cry about the fleas. Then you attack other people for saying you've got fleas. And then when they don't want to come on your show because you insult them, you say they're cowards because they don't want to come on your show and be insulted. And maybe you could argue, well, I wouldn't have said that if you'd agreed to come on. I'm like, well, have you done that with other people? Have you spoken this way about other people? Like, I don't know, because I haven't been paying that much attention to you, because after you made the comments about shoot them all, and then didn't apologise for it, didn't retract it, just sort of explained it and made excuses for it, I stopped watching his show for months. I eventually got pulled back in by some Star Trek story, and I do watch his shows because information. He does a good show, and it's frustrating because every now and again I'm reminded of what he thinks of stuff. But I don't know, like, does he really know Star Trek? He thinks Star Trek Deep Space Nine is the best Star Trek. It's the least Star Trek of all the Star Treks. It is the proto Star Trek Discovery. It's Ira's attempt at destroying Star Trek and creating the anti-Star Trek, anti-TNG, which fortunately he didn't succeed in doing, because people were pulling him back and saying, yeah, no, you're not just going to do that. And they sort of had some reins on him. He didn't get to do all he wanted to do. But then at the same time, his favourite movie is Star Trek The Motion Picture, which is the most Star Trek next to The Cage. But then he disqualifies The Cage, say it shouldn't even be counted because it was just a unsuccessful pilot, when it in fact actually sold the series. And the only reason why they didn't go straight into a series was because they lost several of the main actors, and the network wanted to lose, you know, number one, and they were changing so much they ended up just doing a second pilot and then going into series. And he's saying it shouldn't even be counted, even though he acknowledges it was the first sort of step of like the universe sort of world building of Star Trek, where they had multiple canons and continuities and universes, and it's just, he contradicts himself quite a bit. And then he attacks Matt for saying that, I know someone else was saying that, sorry, in the comments, that he basically just jumps on whatever political opinion he thinks is going to get him attention or get him clicks, and he's got no integrity. I'm like, I've seen him be fairly consistent. He's been fairly consistently progressive and right and left wing, and he's been fairly progressive, fairly consistent at attacking the right wing people. I'm getting nervous because I'm over 10 minutes and I'm trying to finish this off, so I don't like doing long videos. And yeah, I've seen him be fairly consistent. I've seen Rob be fairly consistent, but I just feel like, Rob, you can't say, you know, oh, you attacked me, come on my show, I'll give you like a free open forum while attacking you. That makes no sense. And I can't imagine anyone watching this and thinking, oh yeah, he should go on that show and be called a snivelling, gutless, you know, piece of trash his children shouldn't respect. I mean, what the hell is that, Rob? I'm talking to you like you're listening. But yeah, it just drove me nuts. I was looking at it and like, I couldn't get 24 minutes through because he's calling throughout the thing, I'm here, come on, talk to me. And the video is 6 hours long. I've only watched 25 minutes. For all I know, Matt shows up. I'm going to listen to the rest of it while I'm working on stuff. But I just had to say something. I just heard that and I'm like, really, Rob? You should have been cancelled for what you said. I know Matt was kind of cancelled for something he said, but you said something worse in my opinion, and you weren't cancelled. You should be grateful, but attacking other people, criticising other people, I don't really think you've got much of a moral leg to stand on when you're standing next to Nerdrotic and people like that. And you just glow about how wonderful they are. He's a celebrity on the scene, and you just look into his face and you see pure joy. I'm like, my God. Okay. I'm leaving the video here because why can't the people that love what I love and are knowledgeable about the things that I love, like Star Trek, be nice, progressive, diverse, wonderful people, not right-wing bigots and racists and fascists and grifters, and it just sucks. Like, there's no one to listen to. There's a group that sort of put themselves together and they're sort of trying to be like the anti-Midnight's Edge, and I like all their views, but they're boring as hell to listen to. I can't even remember their names. I was trying to listen to one of the videos the other night talking about Chris someone from Midnight's Edge, talking about gay people, and they were just so boring. They got no personality, and that's why all these right-wing people are so good at promoting themselves and, you know, doing stuff like this, because they've got personality and character and they're very manipulative and charming, whereas the left-wing people, they're just bland as hell, and it's just frustrating. And I just needed a vent. I needed a rant. I needed to talk about it. You needed some YouTube therapy, and now I'm just going to go back into obscurity where, you know, they would say I belong. And yeah, just God, I just wish Robert could just pull back a bit and go, I need to not associate with racists and bigots and homophobes and misogynists because I'm better than that, if he is better than that. And Matt Jarbo, I don't know. I haven't seen... Nothing he's done has bothered me. You know, I agree with most of what he said about the people he's talked about. So, I don't know. People hate him, and I'm not sure why. It seems to be just because he's progressive and, you know, left-wing, and people just hate that. That's just what they do. And that's part of the process, part of the agenda, part of the politicking and the culture wars that we're in at the moment, and the tribalism and all that. Like, oh, I have to hate him because. So yeah, it's 14 minutes. I can't believe I'm still talking, but I just needed to vent. So feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Do you know more about this? Because there's no definitive story of what Matt Jarbo did. And I'm just remembering what Rob did from, you know, the comments that I saw. I'd have to go back and rewatch the video, which there is a copy of. He'd make it go away. And some of the other things. So, yeah, I don't know what to say. I just, I just, I just wish people would do better. Particularly the people that I want to follow. Like, just keep your politics aside, which is what they always tell other people to do. But then every time they talk, they bring their politics in like, well, my politics is good. It's the other people's politics are bad. They shouldn't talk about this. I could keep going. I gotta stop.